Hello. Today our team members will be conducting a process analysis for Royal Bus Tours. We'll be going through multiple parts in the analysis, including key strengths and the weaknesses of the process, improving the process, and finally the key performance indicators to measure the success of our recommendations. Let's get into the current process of RBT. The key questions arising is that does the process achieve the primary goal? The primary goal for RBT is to charge customers the right price for the right tour at the right time. The objective has not been met since a significant amount of refunds are requested from sightseeing tours compared to other tours provided by RBT. The main reason for the price variations is that there is a mixture of selling methods without consensus on pricing. From these factors, the sales where the agent result to a loss in the price setting power and control, causing increased customer complaints regarding different pricing for sightseeing based on how or when the tickets are bought. Moving on, some of the strengths of the process which assists RBT to produce high quality accounting information by achieving the information quality goals and considering validity. There are strong controls put in place, such as requesting confirmations at various stages of the process and ensuring presence of approved and relevant data is being recorded. Also, the verification of the agent by the use of passwords will help RBT prevent fraud because only pre-approved agents have authorized access to RBT's tour database. Let's jump on accuracy. The process does partially achieve the company's goal, that is, the right tour is highly unlikely going to be incorrectly selected. This is because customers themselves are required to select the tour that they want, which is evident from the process. In this way, customers are getting the tours they have selected either online or from the agent, unless the data has somehow inputted incorrectly. For completeness, the use of online real-time processing allows information to be updated immediately, and RBT is able to fetch the up-to-date information. Now I'll pass on to Alexandra, who will talk about the weaknesses.
Along RBT process, there are several weaknesses that interfere with the objective, but the main ones we are focusing on are thefts from the on-bus sales and the agent's pricing freedom. RBT is using resellers to increase the sale of tickets for a particular tour, but the issue is that agents have the freedom to charge their own prices, and there is a time lag between the agents selling the tickets and the passenger list printed by the depot manager. This is because the agents can still sell tickets even after the depot manager has a list printed. This, in turn, is causing problems with the ticket's pricing and timing that later impacts the validity and completeness of the information recorded. As the agents chart their own price with no specific guidelines and with no price authorization by RBT, this impacts the information's validity. Moreover, the possibility of selling tickets after the printing of passenger lists leads to overselling and therefore affecting the completeness of the information, interfering with RBT's primary objective. The second weakness is the theft on cash receipt in the on-bus sales process. The vulnerability arises as data is being manually registered by the bus driver and that he is the only one to put the cash in the cash box after the tour has ended. Since there is no supervision while collecting the cash, no surveillance while putting the cash in the box, and no reconciliation later in the process, this leads to the probability of the cash being stolen by the bus driver. These events prompt to the issue with the accuracy, validity, and completeness of the information recorded. This is due to the fact that missing cash amount in the box impacts accuracy, no surveillance later affects the validity, and all this affects completeness as a whole. Richard will now present some recommendations for the weaknesses.
Our first recommendation is that RBT should be able to modify the current processes that employees such as bus drivers and sales agents follow, as it would allow for more consistency within the operations of the company, as well as reducing the number of errors. Instead of selling agents the tickets, we should use a commission basis in which we pay the agents a proportion of the sale after they've been made. In the reseller flowchart, the display order details have been changed to include the prices of the particular ticket, reducing price variation as it restricts agents to charging a default price. Furthermore, in the ER diagram, we will create a new entity called sales agent, which includes the primary key's commission and tour price. Not only will this ensure that the databases include the commission rate and the default price, but it will also provide customers with all the information available, as the details of their purchases will be complete. Consequently, we are creating a more transparent pricing system. Supporting this, we recommend that the depot manager updates the tour passenger lists after all online and agent sales have been finalised. As a result, we avoid the current potential error of a customer purchasing through sales agents after the depot manager ends their shift, and consequently are not recorded on the tour passenger list. An up-to-date tour passenger list ensures that everyone who booked the tickets before the date of the tour will be on the list, thus invalid sales will not occur, as no further sales will be accepted if the tour list is full. Our second recommendation is to enforce monitoring to ensure that the process is working efficiently and a conflict of interest does not occur. Monitoring can be used under the on-bus sales process, as it can reduce the effect of issues regarding theft of cash receipts. We will use preventative measures, whether it's video surveillance or a supervisor, that could ensure that theft would not occur. Another way of monitoring would be to use reconciliations. By comparing information, we can find the differences between them and thus correct mistakes or detect missing inputs. To address cash receipt issues, the tour passenger list could be used as a cross-reference, matching estimated sales from these passenger lists to actual sales. These forms of monitoring ensure that there are less breaches of accuracy and completeness of events by eliminating the ability to omit cash sales in transactions or to understate cash sales. Our recommendations focus on reducing price variation, controlling overselling, and performing operations correctly. They work in unison to ensure that the customers are charged for the right price and are able to board their desired tour. Now Gunjan will talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the recommendations and the concerning KPIs.
So our first recommendation focuses on modification in the process so that the price is more consistent. This leads to a more effective process as it helps the business to make better informed decisions regarding the bus allocations, ensuring that all customers are treated equally and are charged the same price. This would also avoid overselling, as the depot manager now has the updated passenger list after the agency has closed ticket sales. This would thus increase the efficiency as it avoids the possibility of refunds. The second recommendation focuses on introducing monitoring activities to avoid theft and increasing supervision, therefore increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of the process. This is because when the employees are answerable to someone, they tend to do the right thing in the right way. Hence, this leads to better execution of all the tasks and also decreases the possibility of errors, as there would be more people working to achieve the same objective, that is, achieving the primary goal of RBT. The weaknesses of the process are as follows. The possible weakness in our recommendations could be cost. For the depot manager to have an updated passenger list, he might have to work extra hours in order to obtain the correct passenger list. Moreover, there is a cost associated with installing new security measures in place. So, business has to do the cost-benefit analysis and decide accordingly. Now let's talk about the KPIs. Our first KPI is customer satisfaction. The data for this includes online reviews, surveys, and records of sales orders. This KPI shows how customer satisfaction has changed after our recommendations by identifying how many of the orders processed have an associated complaint. Hence, this shows how effective the managers are in changing certain elements of the process. Our recommendation would be successful if there are less complaints for all the orders processed. Our second KPI is internal process quality. The source for this includes tour passenger list and prices for a particular tour. The errors can be detected in the reconciliation process by working out the difference between the cash deposited in the cash box and the actual sales revenue made on the bus. For determining actual sales revenue, we can have a look at the number of tickets that have been sold from the tour passenger list and the price of the bus sale. Using this resulting figure and comparing it to the cash in the cash box, we can get the difference in the amount, which will give an indication of how well our monitoring systems have worked. This KPI is an appropriate measure as it would allow RBT to identify if there is still any theft occurring. In this case, that is the theft of cash receipts by bus drivers for on-bus sales.
So this was our analysis for the Royal Bus Tours.
Thanks for watching.